The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users, on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not, and where you can subscribe to my news feed at twitter.com/GaryBaumgarten to be brought up to date on all the things that are happening around the world that you need to know to be an informed citizen of the world. And everything I put in there has a link to it. So you can go right back to the original source and read it for yourself. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten, and I welcome you to the show. Well, you thought that the people in Iran were through, did you? You thought that the regime was firmly in charge, did you? Well, think again. People by the thousands went into the streets once again today, very well organized. One of the things they did, which I thought was just brilliant, is that everybody driving their cars were hawking their horns. Now, okay, if you live in Tel Aviv or New York, you probably wouldn't recognize that as an organized protest. But in Tehran, it was an organized protest. They were all honking their horns, but it seems that in Iran, it is against the law to mourn your death. They went, the people did, to a memorial at the cemetery, and the militiamen turned on them once again. But I will tell you, the people are defiant. People went out recognizing that there was a good chance that they could be injured or worse, or arrested, and they did not care. They know the consequences now, as do we. We know what's going on in Iran, and yet they went out nonetheless. Mousavi, the presidential candidate who lost in this kangaroo election to the incumbent Ahmadinejad, was not allowed to go to the cemetery. Can you imagine that? By the way, we have heard from Neda's mother, who has broken her silence in an interview with the BBC. I am really impressed with the Iranian people. When the militiamen came at them with batons, they responded with roses. It was really amazing, and some of the pictures are starting to filter out. It's much more difficult now than it was in the beginning for people to get the images out, but they are coming out. And there's so many people reporting with such great detail about what's happening, confirming what one and the other says, that it's difficult really to question the veracity of that information, even if you can't independently confirm it. I think it's very important that the rest of us are with the Iranian people. I was very happy to hear Hillary Clinton say yesterday to the Iranian government to let their people go and allow them some freedoms, for goodness sakes. This is not an issue that is getting the kind of coverage that it used to get in the mainstream media, but it is an issue that deserves our undivided attention. By the way, with regard to the other issue vis-a-vis Iran, and that has to do with its nuclear weapons program, I find it very interesting and heartening that many people who have taken to the streets in Iran have said that they do not want their country to pursue nuclear weapons capabilities. They hold no ill will toward the rest of the world. For those of you who are not familiar with the culture and the mindset of the Persian people, what you see under the guise of fundamentalist religious leadership is not reflective of the values of the people of Iran. Not in the least. They tend to be, as a population, cultured and urbane and intelligent and involved in business and very modern and Western, at least before this revolution, which forced them to act in a certain manner. I mean, if you want to cover yourself from head to toe in the name of a culture or in the name of a religion, that is fine. That is your choice. But if you choose to dress in a Western style, that should be your choice as well. And a government should not be dictating to you how you may dress yourself. Rachel in Louisiana. Rachel, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Oops, okay, thank you, Gary. You know, I think that that's absolutely right. I think that people should have the freedom to dress, speak, choose their own religion, freedom. That's, you know, it's something that I know the Iranian people are fighting for really hard right now, and maybe they will get it sooner than later. But, you know, they're up against a hard fight, and their bravery is inspiring. I have to say, if I would never have downloaded Paltalk, I may have never met or spoken to any Iranian friends, but I've had the opportunity to make two very special Iranian friends. And Gary, from my heart, I can tell you, my heart goes out to them. One of my friends is very creative in music with the violin, as the Iranian culture is, you know, very, very cultured. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you for that, Rachel, and I couldn't agree with you more. And this is why we need to support the Iranian people in their bid for freedom. This is no longer just about the election. This is about freedom. This is about the right to choice, to choose what books you want to read, to choose what religion you wish to follow or not, to choose who will represent you in government. This is your choice. A government should not be making these choices for you. Our next caller is Abdullah, who's joining us from the Netherlands. Abdullah, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you, Gary.